Hello, and welcome to Spectral Search's post-investigation discussion. In this segment, we will be joined by the team that performed the investigation to go over the evidence that was found, speculate about its authenticity, and decide if we feel the location is haunted or up for speculation. Today, we're joined by PapaFrank and Eric to discuss our investigation of the Greenwood Conservation Area. I'm not sure what happened with the recording of this video. I selected to record the full screen and tested to ensure it would work, and for some reason, I didn't capture our own cameras. So unfortunately, I had to substitute in images of ourselves. So please enjoy the audio component, and I'll ensure proper recording for our next post-investigation discussion.
Oh, Frankie's here.
I actually find that happens to me a lot with Microsoft products.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be like, oh, how do I do whatever in Word? And then it'll be like, oh, it's just like right here.
And it's not.
Years ago. It's like, okay, well, that's not helpful now.
Yeah.
Frankie!
Okay.
Uh-oh, he's connecting to audio.
Hello?
Hey,
Yeah.
wow, you are white.
Yeah, he's very white.
That's racist.
Painfully
No.
white.
No, sorry about that, guys. I was like, eating dinner and I didn't hear my phone go off or anything, so that's my bad.
That's
I'm here
all
now.
good.
Caucasian.
All right.
What? Shocking, you Caucasian.
Shockingly Caucasian.
Yeah.
Cocking Caucasian. Anyways.
You're having your dinner of mayonnaise.
It's only mayonnaise. Mayonnaise and ranch mixed together.
Yeah.
Ew.
All
That's
right.
pretty gross.
So I don't know if you guys watched any of the stuff or if you guys went through any of your own footage. I know Frankie went through some of his. Why are your eyes getting so big, Frankie? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I know Frankie went through some of the photos earlier
Yeah.
because he went through kind of that stuff. I don't know if you guys looked at any of the other stuff or not, but I went through it and I kind of went through anything that looked interesting. Obviously, we had some stuff that we specifically noticed right away, and then there's a
Right.
lot of stuff that really amounted to absolutely nothing. So I kind of compiled it together and we can watch it. And hopefully this is recorded in the appropriate way. Otherwise, this is going to be a really boring video for people.
I usually don't end up going through the footage myself. I usually kind of send the footage to you to watch or not to watch, to edit. But I
Yeah.
end up watching the video afterwards when you post it and kind of like seeing what's up.
Well, yeah, and I think that like anytime that we've had like good EVP sort of stuff, we like bring it up, be like, "Hey guys, what do you hear in this?"
Yeah.
I didn't do that, so that tells you what we got on that.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll get started here.
Hell yeah.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Logo, I can see you and I can hear you.
Perfect. All right.
All right. I didn't realize there'd be this pause button in the corner, but it is what it is. I'm moving on with my life. So basically, when I was looking through the different stuff, I kind of organized it based on the things we did. So we had the EVP going, well, the recorder going the whole time. We had monitoring the temperature. We had that cat ball set up. We measured the thermal afterwards. We had the KII EMF reader of those readings, which we actually had some pretty interesting stuff with that. We did the Estes or Estes method for the spirit box, where Frankie spoke and Eric spoke a bit, and then I had the headphones on. We had some photos, but really only one was interesting. There's some interesting noises that I found in the videos, so I'm gonna go through that. And then there's a weird kind of camera distortion at one point that I think will be pretty explainable, but we have seen it in other investigations as well, which might also just be explainable. But we'll get to it, and we'll see what you guys think as we go.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So the first things we got is no results. So we had all these different things that we did. And when we went through them, the EVP had nothing in it. There was a helicopter, there was a train, there was cars racing down the road, there was crickets shuffling around. And I really thought that we might be able to capture like something at least interesting to be like,
Yeah.
oh, what's that? And so there was nothing remotely interesting. It was like that
Just
was like
background noise.
40 minutes of me just listening to crickets and helicopters and trains and stuff, and I was talking. And I was like, there's got to be like at least like a hello or something, right? something I can at least mishear and think it's something, but there was nothing at all.
There was
The
nothing.
temperature might have been interesting in the fact that it never changed at all. I think it was 25.1 the entire time. And considering the sun was going down and it started raining.
Yeah, I was
It
going to say
was-
that actually surprises me.
It's actually surprising.
The rain and the sun.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it was on the stone.
Hmm.
I mean, I know that rock usually changes temperature faster than like water and stuff like that, but I gotta chalk it up to, I don't know, not impressive. There was no cold spots. It didn't decrease in temperature or anything like that.
Yeah.
It is interesting that it didn't go down, but nothing that I'd be like, oh, okay, we got a ghost now because it didn't go down. The cat ball never moved. Nothing to say with that. And thermal, again, is kind of like the EVP. I thought we'd at least get something interesting in the background. Maybe a squirrel would run by or something.
There was nothing.
Nothing at all. I even
Yeah.
thought maybe we'd get like a tree that is shaped up like a face or something, but it was completely nothing.
Yeah.
So those things I'm just throwing right out. So the first is we got the KII EMF readings, number one.
This was surprising
This was.
because we weren't expecting anything at all.
Yeah, I was not expecting much of it.
Over at his grave here. It mean no disrespect or harm. We're not trying to do any weird stuff with your grave. So it would be great if we have the opportunity to talk with you or him. Yeah.
We mean no.
Yeah.
Yo, that's actually pretty fucked up.
Is that you, Oliver? Can you do that again, please?
And then it blinked there.
If this is Oliver, can you please make the EMF blink again?
And then he just stops.
It did go off the second time when you first said it.
It did.
Okay.
So yeah, we just kind of keep going with these. I kind of try to group them together. Right. Well, at the same time, you can also get the digital.
Oh!
That's insane.
That one's pretty
actually.
weird.
That's yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he wants a Reese.
Do you want a Reese's peanut butter cup?
Can you do that again, Oliver?
Yo,
Thank you. Thank you.
Passionately.
All right. I don't know when Reese's peanut butter cups got made.
I do remember getting weird results that I really wasn't.
Reese's peanut butter cups were not invented until 1928, and all of his stuff is in the 1800s. So unless he heard about Reese's peanut butter cups through people at his grave.
Okay.
know about Reese's
Okay.
peanut cups.
But when was peanut butter out?
I didn't look up when peanut butter was out.
Let's do a quick Google search real
All right,
quick.
you Google search for peanut butter.
All right. I'll
was
do that.
made.
I'll do that.
It's got to be pretty old, I bet.
I think it's like
Because he did say during the spirit
Yeah, he
box
did,
thing that
yeah.
he liked peanut butter.
because peanut butter is an American invention, if I remember correctly.
I'm pretty sure it is. But maybe they had it. I mean, they dealt with
Peanut butter release date. Let me see. Peanut butter. Let me see a bit. So it was first sold as a snack food,
it's still sold as a snack.
and in the form of a snack food in 1894.
I think that's still past everything we talk about.
But the thing is, like, the earliest references to peanut butter can be traced as far back to the Aztecs.
You know what? I'm shocked that Reese's peanut butter cups only came out 30 years after the invention of peanut butter altogether.
Actually, it's a really good point.
That's shockingly close.
But
It was just destined to be.
But also, like, yeah, so a businessman from St. Louis named George Bale produced and sold peanut butter in the form of a snack food in 1894. By 1917, American consumers used peanut products during periods of meat rationing, with government promotions of meatless Mondays when peanut butter was a favorite choice.
That's when I use peanut butter too.
Yeah. So, I mean, peanut butter has been out for like
A day
for
or
a fucking for
a couple
for
days.
Yeah, for quite a while. For quite a while.
But yeah, if we are going to, maybe we introduce them to Reese's peanut butter cups. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right, moving on from this.
Yes.
I also chose the
Did you
same music for the
appreciate
entire
hula hoop
thing.
on your grave, or is that something that you didn't appreciate? Make anything go off for yes. No. Oh,
He liked the hula hoop.
you like the hula hoop? Would you like it back on?
Would you like us to put it back on before we leave?
I wish those cat balls went off.
If you
though.
want the hula
I
hoop back
know.
on, we just want you to understand we thought it was maybe teenagers or some. Yes, you want it back on? Okay. Just understand we thought it was like someone desecrating your resting place.
So
Lots
yeah,
of EMF readings.
yeah, we got lots. I
Yeah.
think there's 5 or 6 different groupings like this that we kind of go through. So I was gonna keep going with them, and then when we're done all of them, we can kind of discuss it as a group. And we can talk over it as it goes, though. Still,
Yeah.
it looks like a picture there for a second, Frankie. I thought you froze.
No. Wait.
Do you like candy? Do you like
I
sweets?
think this one's hard to see.
Mine went off a little bit there.
Did it
It's-
really?
Yeah, mine just a little bit.
Okay.
Is we're gonna set the spirit box, and I'm gonna wear this and say anything that I hear. While Frankie asks questions, spirit is going off again. And that way, I don't know what Frankie's saying. So there's no way that I can be interpreting what is coming through. It'd just be me randomly responding.
All right. So I went through and I tried to capture all the times it went off again based on those different points we're kind of going with. And I was looking for like any patterns. First thing I kind of did was just looking at, the different time frames going down the list there. And there's really no pattern. Like you can kind of see, the first one's 10 seconds in, then it's 2 minutes and 44 seconds after that, 13 seconds after that. And it keeps going kind of variable. So my next thought was like, what if these are actually 2 different external sources that we're getting at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
So I tried looking at just the differences from the lowest point to the first point and going on differences that way, going all the way down the way. And I don't see any real patterns that occur. It's not my forte mathematically to look for patterns in numbers like this. So then I graphed it as well. And I do feel like there are some like little like bloop bloops groups together on the end there. And then we have like the bigger peaks kind of spaced out in the middles of them. But I think that it's really comes down to just the scale that we're looking at on this graph I've made here. Because when we actually look at the volume, like at the numbering and the differences on the responses there, those little blip blips actually change pretty drastically. They're not like, this one here I don't know if you can see my mouse or not. This one's 4 seconds, and that would be in here, right? But it looks like relative to the same as 10 or 13-second ones for the groupings like that. So it seems random to me. Like it doesn't seem like we're getting a consistent frequency of something coming through. That being said, I also don't know how cell phones work. If they're continually giving out a signal, or if it's only when you send a message or something like that. I'm not sure. So I'm not saying that we found a ghost, but I'm just saying that I don't see a pattern with the EMFs coming through.
That definitely was something I noticed. I was really shocked by how responsive it was.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Way more than I would have anticipated.
Like when we did the Beck House and I like step back, I could do the math and be like, it's responding way more than we're asking and stuff. This one was
Yeah.
the opposite. We asked a lot of questions it doesn't respond to. And if we're looking at this as like a person, it makes more sense for them not to be saying yes, right? They just don't answer you. Whereas like the Beck House, we're like, blink for yes, don't blink for no. And it's just saying yes over and over when we're not talking to it. It's kind of weird. If we're looking conversationally, like if this was something we were talking to, it makes sense not to answer everything.
Yeah.
And only answering some questions. Again, I'm not saying it is something. I'm not saying it's not something. I'm just saying that I don't see a pattern that really is going on with this.
No, I agree. I just I found this more convincing than the Beck House stuff. Personally.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It seemed more responsive Like I couldn't attribute this to like, well, there's a power line next to it, so that explains why it kept happening, because it wasn't keeping happening. It was happening randomly.
And it would
Um,
almost always be at like specific times. It wouldn't be like we asked a question and then it would go off like 5 seconds later when we're not talking.
yeah,
It tended to go
was-
off specifically when we were talking to it.
yeah, and then like even when it was going off and we were using the spirit box,
Yeah.
it's like when we're talking about talking to it is when it went off, and I was like, oh, like it just went off beside us. It seemed kind of more going on again. Could be random. Like we all had cell phones there, where we are by power cables, train went by, a helicopter went by. I don't know specifically, but I do think that this would be one of the more convincing elements that we've had.
I would say so. I would put it by far one of the more convincing things I've seen.
I would.
I'm pretty
Sorry, go ahead.
skeptical, so I'm definitely not sold on anything. But you know, give me 30 more instances of this, and I have something going. Yeah,
we're down 2-ish. 1.5, I'll say.
I feel like I am less like. I feel like I'm less impressed with the EMF readings, because of the Beck House. Like we've had like consistent time after time results with the Beck House, but also we had stuff that just, again, like you said, they said yes to everything. But with the spirit box, it was different because the responses we were getting with the spirit box for this particular investigation was surprisingly like with good intelligent responses. Whereas the Beck House, when we tried it, it made no fucking sense.
The one time in the Beck House, it straight up sounded like your name, like first and half your last name, and I was like, like, I was like, Frankie, and I was like, you are Frankie, run.
Shit. But
this was a lot more coherent though.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I mean.
I feel like this method works a lot better.
Yeah,
not knowing what you're asking, so you can't like attribute meaning to it.
Which honestly, like when we got the responses from this one, I was more stunted. Like I was more like shook from
your video. I could tell.
Yeah, I was just like, holy crap! Like,
yeah,
insane. Like compared.
I think it was your head though, not your hands. I just remember because you can see your perspective. That was a lot of fun to watch.
My perspective?
Watching Frankie's perspective.
Oh yeah, I remember was like,
yeah, there was the one at the very start of it. I know I'm getting off track here. At the very start, when we're doing our intros together, and then Eric just turns and looks at you. I don't know if you remember that, but I saw your perspective where you're just like, look at him, look at me, look at him, look at me. And you're like, what are you doing? And I was laughing so hard watching it. I'm like, Frankie's vision is so chaotic. Yeah.
You get in perspective what it's like in my mind, I guess.
Yeah.
I felt like such a creep during this like whole thing because I was literally just sitting on your guys' shoulders the whole time. You'd be like looking forward, and I'm like sitting like right here.
It was good though. Like it worked really well. The one thing I do think we need to do for next time, and again, I'll get back on track. Like right away, just be like, all right, everyone hit record, and then do that in chunks. So we're always saying record at the same time, because this one worked a lot better than almost all the other ones we've done, because we did do a lot of that, just lining things up. Like, and then I could just cut it to different views.
Yeah, trying to line up the audio can be annoying if you don't.
Yeah. There's a lot of that, especially if we have like one big thing, like one single word or one single noise. You can just line them up and it works really easy. All right. Anyways, there you go.
Woo.
Tell me how your day was.
Sweet.
Do you like chocolate or peanut butter more? Do you like chocolate or peanut butter more?
It sound like peanuts?
No.
That was the response. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Did you live a good life?
there was like a bit.
I'm gonna ask again. Did you live a good life?
Maybe no.
No. Okay.
That was it. Because he did shady shit, right? So
Yeah.
What was it that made it bad?
Cadence.
Hedons? Well, that's like go broke. Okay, it's dead. Did you like living here in Ajax?
It's like, huh?
Did you like?
maybe he's
living
going.
you had the chance when you lived.
Selling hot dogs.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious. It just sounded like selling hot dogs. Like, would you like it?
That's my
selling hot dogs.
that's my next business journey is
Yeah.
selling hot dogs. Toronto street meat.
Yeah.
Seems like you're not that talkative right now. It seems you don't want to revisit that.
So like maybe scared.
Oh, wow.
First off,
Maybe-
that clearly was Owen Wilson right there.
I was just thinking that.
Marry somebody?
Wow.
Find a wife?
It almost like it sounded cadence again or something.
Cadence.
So I did look at the popularity of the name Cadence. Cadence was not a popular name until about 2002. So
Hmm.
odds
I wouldn't
are
call
he
that-
didn't
It
know
seems
someone
like
named
a-
Cadence.
Cadence does seem like something parents of that era would start
Something a
naming their daughters.
2002 parent would name
You
their
know,
kid,
like
yeah.
this is my daughter Summer. You know, like shut up.
Yeah. I looked and like the graphs don't even go back past like 1950. So someone from like the 1800s and stuff, like
Yeah.
don't think they're naming their kid Cadence. But it was hard to tell. It is Spirit Box. Like I think when you're watching, you said like, was it Katie? I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
know, maybe
I
it
thought
could have been Katie or something
Katie,
like that. But
Caitlin.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I looked at the name. I don't think he had a significant other that was like at least he was buried with or anything like that. Because you can look up like the grave site.
What
and
about a
stuff.
side piece? Maybe he had a side piece.
I don't know how to Google
You know,
Oliver Badgero's
wouldn't surprise me for that time though.
side
Like
piece.
you know,
Yeah, I mean absolutely.
Yeah, back then everyone cheated, not like today.
yeah.
Yeah, now we got morals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, you know what? Let's just see if there's even like what are the chances of him knowing so many Canes were and they were not good.
Fair enough.
All right, photo time.
Wait, what?
This is the photo you sent me. And I think I was confused because I think you told me something different. You're like, oh, there's like one weird thing in the photo. And then I opened it and I was like, that doesn't really line up with what he told me he saw. But it is
I didn't
something
see
weird.
this though. I didn't see this.
So yeah, I mean, like the grass is clearly across the bottom there. So I don't think we're
Yeah.
staring at a tall piece of grass. I
Yeah,
don't,
that's exactly what I think it is.
unless you took a picture from like your waist, because the grass wasn't that high.
No, I
Um,
didn't.
Doesn't
Like it-
really look like a sun.
I
like,
feel
beam or
like
something.
I feel like it looks more like a blur of a bug flying upwards.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's what I think it is.
I mean, it's a hell of a capture of a bug if you did manage to capture a mosquito flying directly upwards.
I'm that
Throw
good.
that on National Geographic right there.
That's right.
I'm gonna try something here.
Yeah.
I like
Eric's usually the one for this shit here.
I hope
I
he
do,
like
I do a
just
screen.
sharpens the image and it's just a mosquito.
No, he sharpens it and it's Eric's face.
Flying by.
Yeah.
Is there a
What
way
are
I
you
can-
trying?
Oh, I was gonna just use my mouse to like point something out here.
Eric's just like enhance,
We
enhance,
can't
enhance.
see your mouse.
Well, that's what I mean. I was hoping I could do a screen share, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
That,
Do you want to give it a go?
it says you have to let me. Post disabled participant screen share.
Oh man, how do we do that? Share.
Give him the okay.
All right, can you do it now?
Let's see. There we go.
Oh, you're all the way over there. What am I looking at?
Artwork.
What
I
are you
was working
doing?
on. We'll ignore all this. Anyway,
Let's just stretch this over.
where is the Zoom screen? This is embarrassing.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but I'm embarrassed for you.
I feel embarrassed. Where's the Zoom? Oh.
Wait a minute. This isn't Windows.
Oh, because it's your screen
Hmm.
I'm trying to look at. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Be fun to post later.
Basically, I was just gonna like show the. You see in the back left there of the screenshot.
Do you want me
There's
to go
like
back to sharing my screen?
Yes.
Aren't we sharing? Aren't you showing your screen already? Yeah, there you
That's
go.
weird. What happened to you sharing your screen, Eric? It just like stopped.
No, he
I
ended it.
thought that my screen.
I didn't know that mine would just start up again.
Oh,
Well,
Interesting. Yeah. So left.
just move your mouse to the left. Keep going. Stop right there. Oh, over to the right a little more.
Oh, that little line there.
That.
That's what I think that is in the.
Oh, a
Oh, it is.
cattail.
So you think this is just like Frankie just took a really weird picture of Bo?
Yeah, I think that just is like because he's moving and the grass is shifting.
Yeah. It makes sense for sure.
That makes more sense than the bug flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
But-
interesting. You must have like accidentally taken this one and then sent it along in place of the one you meant to send.
Maybe. Okay, so
Well-
that's nothing.
Underwhelming. Not that I really thought we captured a straight line ghost, but
I mean, I like to think most ghosts are a pretty straight line, but you know.
Straight shooter. Noises.
this I thought was interesting.
Okay. These dang hooligans are here polluting our dead, and we're kind of sick of it. So for Oliver's honor, we're just gonna get rid of this and maybe show some respect.
Oh.
Cool logo.
Huh.
Scanning AM.
I
No,
think I
that's-
know what it is though.
Like, what the fuck?
It's clearly the Predator.
Oh shit.
So yeah, I don't know. Not every time, but there's a number of times that you two are over there filming, and you just hear that like weird. At first, it's like, oh, must be gravel like underneath your feet, but like that many times, and it doesn't. Like the first time, kind of sounds like gravel a little bit. You can hear the saying of the hula hoop when you pick it up, but
Right.
the second time with Eric, I was like, that's a weird noise.
But it also could be like the sound of him gripping the cameras in a way, hand shifting on the cameras,
I mean, absolutely, it could be a lot of different
hitting the
things,
microphone.
But
That's what I think it could be.
that was one of
I think
those.
it
I'm
sounds
like.
kinda like Pecker a little bit or something.
Like a
maybe.
woodpecker or something. But it'd be interesting we wouldn't notice it in the moment. To be like, oh, a woodpecker. Every time I hear a woodpecker, I'm like, what are you?
Woodpeckers, like the sound of their beaks hitting on the wood of the tree. It's fairly loud.
Yeah.
I think it's like how Eric or whoever's holding the camera, like gripping it or like moving their hands or something, like trying to get comfy or whatever. Because
I was wondering
sometimes when I
maybe the
deal that,
tree.
sorry,
Maybe pushing past the tree beside it and just
maybe
sounds weird. But it definitely, I was kind of like, that's an interesting noise.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, like-
regardless of what it is, I'm like, how did you guys manage to make those noises? And this is why I think it's probably the Predator.
excuse me.
It's all right.
It is a pretty distinct noise. I'm actually having a hard time putting my finger on quite what it is.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I've heard that sound before though.
Yeah.
Like when
it
I've been
was the
filming
Predator
shit from
in
my cell phone.
1987.
We literally
That
heard
too.
it. What are you talking about?
But like I do hear that sound when I'm doing this and I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
'cause that's
You're
just
just
I don't know,
rubbing your phone.
just rubbing my phone. I just like to film myself rubbing my phone.
I get it.
That's it. That's it.
Got to pay the bills, man.
Yeah.
Kid and OnlyFans rubbing his phone.
All right, I think this is the last thing we kind of had.
So we hope you like it, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Camera line distortion.
Yeah,
Is that from your camera, Eric?
that's from Eric's camera. And it's
Okay.
just the quick, it goes, I think it's just the contrast change of zooming in and out that
Yeah.
makes it get dark. But the only reason I thought it was interesting was when we did the Ocealaga Inn with Jordan, one of the cameras was stationary filming all night and it randomly went dark and then bright again. And I was like, it's interesting that we had two different investigations where the cameras went dark then bright or bright then dark when, like, I'm assuming you're using the digital zoom there, not an optic zoom. So it's interesting that the focus would still change in that time frame to change what you're,
Oh, it doesn't show up, but I would
I'm seeing nonsense right now.
It's also like, could be like, what phone do you have, Eric? Do you have like an older phone or like?
Hey, can you show us your phone?
It's literally a brand new phone. It's like an iPhone 11.
Okay.
Can't believe you
Oh
actually
yeah.
tried to
Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. There it is. Okay.
There you go.
Because like I was thinking like maybe it's the like exposure the light exposure sensor.
Yeah,
like
something probably defaults to based on the zoom and the lighting and all that. But I just thought it was interesting, like in conjunction to our other investigation, where I was like, that one was just one of the stationary security cameras. There was no like we were all asleep. There was no like someone walking by. There was no change in the visual.
No.
So it was like
Twice
that one
now
was
we
weird.
had those all night cameras work, which is disappointing.
Yeah, because the one time with the Beckhouse it didn't work. The second time only one camera worked. The other one didn't record anything.
Yeah, and I think some of the most interesting stuff happens when we're all asleep. So it's kind of
Well, Jordan said he saw a shadow person standing in the hallway. The other camera would have caught it if it had worked.
yeah.
And I was like, wow, I guess we're going Jordan's word on this one.
Yo, Frankie was losing it when we were sleeping at the Beck house.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, you don't like prison?
No, prison's fine. It's I just I had it was nerves. It was like we're in a haunted house. What was claimed to be, and I don't know. It got in my nerves a bit, and it was hard to sleep.
We should have put Frankie in your room. That would have been funnier because he was would have been all by himself with the dress.
You're such an ass.
In the back house, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're such an ass.
So funny.
You're such an ass. I was thinking about sleeping in the fucking in the living room, but I'm like, no, that's worse.
That'd be definitely worse, especially like considering you thought you saw something there.
Yeah.
Like that's where all the activity was happening. Like your room, we had no activity.
I saw something at work, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Did I tell you about that?
Thanks, Eric. Thanks for the feedback.
All right, I guess I didn't, but I'll see you guys later. I guess no, but okay. So just a little background. So this place was built in 1797, so it's a pretty old building. And I was on a patrol, and there's like two separate parts of this. Well, I mean, there's two like distinctively different parts of the building. Like on the south side, it's like old architecture, squeaky floors, all that shit. And on the north side, it's all like newer office building, offices and shit like that. So when you're doing a patrol on the south side, there's one time I was walking and then I looked to the right and I saw a man wearing an old judge's outfit, but I couldn't see his face. And then he vanished. And then after that, I kind of just like speed walked the rest of the patrol. I'm like, gotta get back. I'm fucking terrified. I don't want to do this. So I got on my I was like,
yo, if I ever go to rob a place, I'm for sure dressing up as like a judge.
I'm gonna dress up as a ghost. Just to shoot.
I'm gonna dress up as Eric.
Me too.
We should all just dress as each other.
So they can jail anyway.
So they can't properly identify who we are.
But we all do it at the same day. So there's like, you're going to jail.
Wait,
got you.
It's like, is this Frankie? Is this Eric? I don't know.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if there's anything in what we did that is definitive. I think as Frankie has said it best in almost all of our videos, it's up for speculation.
Mhm.
I think that yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff on the spirit box.
Mhm.
The fact that it seemed a little intelligible, and I think that the K2, the amount it responded and when it responded was definitely interesting.
Yeah.
But as you pointed out too, we've had interesting responses before that kind of amounted to nothing. So
I would say, to be honest, though, this investigation, as short as it was probably the more interesting one I feel like we've ever been on. Because the Beck House, sure, the setting and theme was like scary, haunting, a lot of old creepy shit there. But the thing is, we came in to this investigation expecting nothing.
yeah,
And we all kind of had a gut feeling that it's a public park with one gravestone, nothing's gonna happen. And we still managed to get EMFs. We still managed to get Spirit Box. And but even with just those two standalone pieces of evidence that we got, were kind of like they were still like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the responses we got from this one was are although they weren't many, they were still pretty dang like intelligent.
they felt more like a
Especially with the spirit
conversation.
box.
Yeah,
Sorry?
it felt more like a conversational
Absolutely
sort of
it did.
response. Whereas I feel like in the moment at the back house, it was like, wow, like we're having a conversation here. And then
And
you
then
look back and you're like, actually, it's going off all the time. Whereas this one was like, it's
yeah.
barely going off, which
Yeah.
made it more convincing because it wasn't
Yeah.
consistent. And then at
Yeah.
one point, when it's going off like crazy during the Reese's peanut butter cup question from Eric, where he's like, "You want a Reese?" It's like that was weird. Like,
Fuck yeah.
yeah. He's like,
But
what?
another thing is like in regards to the EMFs, um another reason why our EMFs were probably going off like nuts at the Beck House was because there's probably like wires and circuitry going through the floorboards, the walls, whatever. But the thing is, at the park, we're in the fucking middle of a forest. We're in like like an open public space,
Kind of were in the
and,
middle of.
and I don't think there was any like electrical anywhere where we were.
There
Maybe
actually
close.
is power lines that go like right nearby it.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
So like
but
we
like
went down the path, you go to the right, power lines are right there. But they weren't like right above us. And we did check it first to make sure that it
but
wasn't
that's the
going
thing,
off.
and I think that our EMF readers don't have that kind of range
No, I don't think
to
so.
pick that up.
But I don't really know
I
how
don't think
far
so.
it can go.
train just down the ways, and that definitely wasn't affecting anything. Like it wasn't responding to it at all.
And I think the fact that, yeah, like even when we did the back house, I remember us like pretty early in it being like, oh my God, it's going off without us talking
Yeah.
to it. We were just like, whoa. And we were like, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And then I wonder if it's just the TV below us, like
Yeah.
the wiring, like you're saying. I don't know who's doing what in other rooms. Like it's a whole building of people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a very old building, and the walls felt very thin in that place.
It is though, like a lot of people. Like I know that Frankie follows some of those pages too, like on Facebook.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
people go there, and a lot of people have results. And I think it would be interesting to go back and try to
Absolutely. Yeah.
bunk some of the stuff that we didn't, like the footsteps. I think they were probably the hallway or the stairs, but it'd be cool
Yeah.
to go back and try it. And like the EMF,
Yeah.
see if we get anything different this time or if it's consistently the same. It'd be interesting to
Yeah.
see because yeah, so many people think it's
Here's
like
the thing though,
it's
like
not
back
place.
back to the EMF thing. Like my EMF reader, I'm not sure about yours. Like I do test it from time to time. I do put it towards the TV and it goes like right, but I notice it really starts picking it up around like I want to say like 8 inches away from it,
Yeah.
from the device. So
Yeah.
I really think the range couldn't pick up whatever was nearby at the park.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with that.
So I feel like, I mean, maybe it's something else. Maybe it is a ghost. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like the EMF evidence that we got from the Ajax location was, I mean, like it could be looked at as something paranormal. It could be looked at. So
Yeah, I feel like
compared to the Beck House.
The one thing I was kind of thinking before is, we've got the whole, guilty until proven innocent thing, obviously. And it's like, are we looking at, we can't explain something, therefore probably ghosts? Or are we saying like, we can't explain something, therefore probably not ghosts? You know what I mean? Like, I can't explain that, but I don't know if that's me being like, I can't explain it, therefore I think it was probably something, or is just being like, I can't explain it. Doesn't mean it's something,
Yeah, like
Right.
I think if I can't explain something, I chalk it up as interesting. It needs to be pretty like that shit's a ghost. Like
Even I was thinking with the spirit box, the first thing it says is sweet, right?
Yeah.
And then a little bit later on it says peanuts. Like, how do we know that wasn't just a Reese's peanut butter cup ad?
Yeah, who knows?
That we like happened to get two words out of the same. Like if I had more time, it would be hilarious though if we just found an ad that said peanuts and sweet.
Yeah.
We just heard them. They were like, "What? This makes perfect sense." But
it would, but I think it's unlikely because the thing is, we were on an AM frequency.
we were on AM. That's true.
Scanning through all these channels with like with like barely any time in between them to get anything out. So I feel like
you were on an ancient Indian burial ground for a second there. What?
Maybe we were on an ancient Indian Reese's peanut butter.
That's what I was gonna say. Advertisement.
That's what it was.
But yeah, it was definitely an interesting one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
My final thoughts.
Frankie's a homeless.
I don't know. I'm stumped on this one, to be honest.
Like you have a line
like-
you're supposed to say, Frankie.
Oh, what?
It's up for speculation.
Oh, right. Hold on. Take two. Take two.
I'll let you do this. Yeah, okay.
So my final thoughts is that I think it's up for speculation.
Oh, all right. Thanks. I agree with you. Yeah,
Wow.
Sorry.
Delightful.
Yeah. I don't know. There's there was some evidence that showed that I just explained this. You do the editing. It's fine.
I'm not going to edit this at all. I'm just going to slap it together. Really.
Oh, okay.
Go for it.
That's fine too. That's fine too.
All right.
I'm itchy.
Well, on the note of Frankie being itchy,
it's the crabs.
It's the crabs. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
All right. Thanks again, Nose, for setting this up or for coming to this and all that. I know obviously you were in the middle of dinner, Frankie.
Yeah.
And well,
just finished dinner, so it's okay. I was like, I actually saw the messages and I was like, oh shit, like fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, I set an alarm for myself and everything, and it still didn't go off. I was like sitting there at 6:45, being like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was just eating right before too, around the same time. All right, well, I'll let you guys go. Let you get back to stuff. Thanks again, and we got to hang out soon.
Absolutely.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
After our discussion as a team, we found that this location gave an incredibly unique experience. Due to the lack of other accounts, we expected to find very little at this location. Instead, we found that we had results on our KII EMF reader immediately. Our spirit box session resulted in some convincing dialogue that was in alignment with the responses on the KII. The Greenwood Conservation Area is a gorgeous area to hang out with friends or take your family. And while we can't say that this location definitively has a presence, it's absolutely a place to visit and to partake in your own spectral searches.